some pretty good situations and duels when needed.
Yeah, cuts look good, and I thought Desh had his moments as well. It's clear to me that there is a little bit of firepower on this roster, but they really just have to be let off the leash a little bit and start to go ham. Very excited to see how this final best of one actually unfolds. It's an opportunity for Red Canids to go 2-0 on the day, climb up the spots here in the competition as this regular season comes to a tail end. But the Corinthians, they still have a chance to even the odds here.
Well, for Corinthians too, I mean, like historically on paper, I mean, both CT and T side for them is pretty close. It's about a 47, 44. So it's not too bad, all things considered. Red Canids, though, are going to have to showcase the USPs. Pistol rounds haven't been their favorite sometimes, but they've been able to get those dualies in effect. But now the Glocks seem to be doing something a little bit different, making the advantage right now for Corinthians, putting themselves on the 3-on-2. Plant's going to come through triple. So now they're going to be able to isolate into CT spawn. They're going to be able to get a lot of control on this. And there could be even a potential flank coming in from Leo. So if they can play their cards right, burn the clock a little bit more, he can be the playmaker. Coldzera, a bit of a tickle here on the shoulder. Now things are becoming more of an issue, tenderizing these opponents, but they're running out of time. And there it is. Leo, oh, you got to hit these. You got to hit these. And he's going to be able to. And there it is. Corinthians finally get themselves another pistol.
Yeah, well played in that post plant. You know, you have a player in back triple, you have a player in back pallets, and you could tell all they were doing there was stalling for time, allowing for Leo to have that flank in the jungle. And as soon as that one bullet pops through, ABR pounces. Coldzera can't do anything. And they do find themselves that elusive pistol that they've been searching for quite a bit now. P250 surprising for Dash. I think he wants to save. Virtually no investment committed to by the Red Canids, bar Davideus with Eagle, a P250 from Coldzera, and a Zeus from Hardzao.
Yeah, it might be used right here. Look at this. Oh, cuts. Cuts. He's not even looking. He's looking up, and that's a free duel. Oh, you love to see it. You just love to see it. That's not a bad one, too. A Mac 10 is going to be picked up. Venom's Air is just getting eradicated here with just utility alone. He's sitting at 6 HP. Deep smoke wall coming in. Going to block off jungle and connector. Haven't seen this used for a little bit, so now it's actually pretty nice considering with the pistols. And that's going to be another kill coming in. This is not too bad of a save round.
Yeah, at this point you want to potentially find maybe another. There was a trying to bait in Hardzao's Mac 10, but no armor means you can't have an extended fight. ABR shuts it down. He's had a hot start to this Mirage so far. And Coldzera on the way out, trying to find one more. Maybe even a gun to scoop up, if possible. But it'll all be just mere damage and not kills. Leggy will live on 16. Corinthians get that pistol conversion. And Red Canids will have their buy round fully available with no Nithon AWP, mind you, while Cuts on the other end will be able to drop it over to Dash.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting move, but I mean, you know what? Honestly, like, I don't mind this. Like, I think the fact that, you know, they're going to just keep it, I think the utility a little bit makes a bit more sense, have that armor. I'm not against this. I think it'll be nice to see what they can do with it. And if they find this round, there's a big potential to pick up this AWP. They're going to go aggressive into Palace. ABR now might not know that there's two of them, but at least the trade comes in. It's a one-on-one duel. Corinthians now putting a little bit more attention onto this A-ramp. Venomzera trying to get aggressive, but he's just melting alive. And again, back to the 1-on-1s, leaving it in a 3 versus 3 now. With still a minute and 26 remaining. The bomb is still in T-spawn. They are just deciding, what do we want to do here? Like, this is not working out like we wanted it to.
Yeah, they were hoping to have a favorable trade to goad them into this A site, but going even is not enough for them to accelerate. They're trying to punish some sort of a late flank, but it's not coming. Coldzera sits in the back of the A site. Corinthians look to potentially re-execute as they swap guns back into Desh's hands. Smokes are available. One smoke is available, specifically. And Desh will just hold the line to allow for the rest of his players to scale up with him. I mean, there's two players to potentially greet, but I think they're just very willing to play a retake setup and see if they can get the job done in the post.
Yeah, some good mollies to push back these CTs. But coldzera still lurking. Plant's gonna come through in front of default. Oh man, he's made his noise. Yeah, they know exactly he's here. This is interesting. They're grouped up. Op actually misses. That's actually a bit of an uncharacteristic shot. Doesn't land. coldzera's gonna win that duel. Now things are getting a little bit scary here. The T's playing a bit of a crossfire, but the smoke's coming in. They're gonna be able to find one. Cuts gets his position away. Fuse not gonna be done here. Instead, it's gonna be Hardzao. Bit of a jiggle. No kit on this defuse either, so this is gonna be a full 10-second defuse. Oh, you gotta hit this!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! This could be problematic. Knife swinging. Knife is not making connections, and the defuse still comes through. Oh dear goodness!
Oh, and those extra spams that Cuts unnecessarily put in denies him from picking up the AWP as well. Oh, that is heartbreak for the Corinthians. They did everything right after a huge whiff from Hardzao. Oh my goodness. Mistakes all over the shop, but the score reads 2-1. We're just getting started on Mirage here, folks. We've got a lot of game to play still.
Oh man. Man, those smokes are ruthless. They're so ruthless in CS2, man. You go through like a desert storm. You just have no idea what you're doing. So unforgiving. So close too, man. The fact that he actually hits him with the knife as well. Just more insult to injury. But either way, Op still on the deck. Desh gonna try it again. Wasn't successful before in round 3. Maybe this one could be. Slowing things down a lot more now. A couple FAMASs coming in from the CT side, which is a bit of a desperate buy. You can be proven wrong though, Paladin. Has your opinion changed on them yet? Or are you still feeling the same way?
Not yet. I think the main reason why is it just isn't their final roster, right? It does feel like they are forced to play. Not even feel like, it is just that they are forced to play with this roster because of the roster lock rules that ECL have. And for that reason, I'm just thinking about it as like, okay, if they can make a deeper run, if they can somehow qualify the playoffs, then we can see the real might of them. So this is like a stall out technique of sorts for the Corinthians. They're just trying to hold their heads above water more than anything. But they will execute onto the B site here. They have a chance to potentially split over, and there are 3 players to greet them. Hardzao goes down with nothing, and now it means that coldzera has to shoulder a lot of control here. He finds a double with this FAMAS, putting in some significant work here. Denies the plant as well. coldzera has done his job and then some. It's just Cuts now left in the clutch, trying to get this bomb down, but he's getting run down by Nithon. Free upgrade for him, and the Red Canids shut things down, cut off the money supply for the Corinthians, and they found a way to right the ship here, Laz.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, right? Like, I was kind of waiting for these rounds to see coldzera kind of like, you know, get a cool multi-frag moment, and it comes with a FAMAS. So, yeah, I'll take it. That's fine. And honestly, he played that picture perfect. I mean, he goes for the swing, takes down the planter, just kind of isolating the duel, and he did so much work on his own. So, love to see coldzera kind of giving us a little bit of a glimpse of what he can bring, right? And now we're back to a 2-2, and even with the bomb plant, Corinthians are just going to have to put some pistols, very light utility on this. It's going to be 1 smoke with 1 molly and a flash. So, I mean, there's not a lot riding on this. This could just be a little bit of a contact one to see what they can find. Tech 9s and Deagles are the composition, and honestly, they're really spread out right now. I mean, you kind of have the 1-1-3, which seems a little bit odd.
Yeah, but Nithon still finds the kill that he's looking for. And a second. Leo cannot confirm that frag, that trade. And Davideus, Venomzera, they'll close the round out pretty cleanly. Near flawless rounds in terms of damage there. And a clean sheet means a lot of money gained for the Red Canids. Corinthians now have quite an uphill battle with the buy that they bring forward. Lackluster utility as well. What is this? 2 smokes? 3 smokes and 2 mollies? You're very limited, and 2 flashbangs more importantly. So you're going to have to take a lot of dry, raw aim duels here against some of the very best in South America.
Yeah, you definitely are. Good nades coming in, though. A little bit of work, but Desh is kind of pushed back a little bit on towards the deep end of bench. And oh, he does get that kill, so he's going to be able to find him. Bomb's going to still be dropped on this. Now things are slowing down a little bit here. Losing coldzera. This is not a bad pickup, and Corinthians now put themselves in the 5-on-4, and this was something that we felt was kind of like a little bit back and forth on Nuke, right? I mean, they do well in the opening duel, but then it just seems to collapse all of a sudden.
We're going to have to find a way to make it work here. Walking through the A main, clearing out all these close range angles. They're still so worried about the possibility of a snake in the grass. But Venomzera is all the way back in spawn. Molly, smoke deployed, calling for the cavalry instantaneously. They know that there's still a potential for a round here. And Venomzera continues to scale closer and closer. And now that he's gotten information, it's time to duel. He finds the first, trying to find a little bit more before he goes down, but he stands tall. A double for Venomzera and make it off. Potentially a third. Finished off by Leo. Hardzau's there to pick up the pieces. And Desh now left in a 1v3. Not much time on the clock either. This looks like a fourth round teed up for the Red Canids.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, again, just kind of, you know, concede defeat, just take the op, keep it in your hands. This is the play. And I mean, this is, again, what we talked about just a little bit on the pre-show is like, look, Red Canids are in a position where on the CT side, they can show us a lot of that firepower. They can show us, you know, some of those players individually popping off. The fact that, you know, Venomzera finds himself the double, kind of things getting split apart a little bit here between, you know, Davideus and Hardzau. These were critical frags, and like you said, standing tall, and they've got themselves a 2-round lead now. And the money's still flowing pretty nicely here, and the money is just not the same case here for the T side. So these are kind of the awkward situations too, right, Paladin? I mean, you got to work around the AWP as much as you can, and why not take a silver bullet?
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. Desh at this point, a lot of onus on him. He's been able to produce some nice shots throughout this best of one series, but now he's got to go one step above. Necessary impact needed, but he goes down with nothing, Laz.
Oh, man, okay, yeah. That's nice. I mean, you know, it's a little bit of fragging coming in here. A little bit of desperation, a little bit of, you know, hoping for something with the Deeg. I was saying the silver bullet, right? Okay, Op's going to be picked up. Oh, Venom. Oh, Venom. Oh, Venom. Oh, he didn't see him. No way. No way he didn't see him. Okay, maybe they did. Yes, they did. All right, I was going to say, there's no way he missed that. Even a 4x3, you should be able to see that as well. But okay, we're back to a 4-3 still. Red Canids are still the man up. Davideus will get himself an easy one through the heavens. And now the Ops are just making connections. And ABR? Maybe? He will not. All right, Red Canids putting themselves only one round of a differential between 6. And honestly, this has looked pretty convincing since, I mean, the third round, in my opinion.
Yeah, now they're starting to get a little bit more comfortable in these defaults. They're finding ways to plug the holes as quickly as possible. And Corinthians, this is a tough time to be in. They will call a timeout to try and discuss their options, but right now they are considerably against the wall. 8K on Hardzau, 5K for Nithon, David, and coldzera means that, I mean, they've got a lot of money to chew through in these buy rounds, and they've got a ballooning lead right before them. So this is kind of what I was expecting when we were on Nuke. And unfortunately for the Corinthians, it's only going to get worse from here if they can't keep up in this round number 8.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better. And now we'll see the Op back out again. The Op be Op. Venomzera going to take a nice little bit of a jog here through middle. Ooh, he's got a bit of a gap. Yep, why not? That's going to be 1, maybe 2. He will not, but he will get at least something started. CTs. Still fighting a little bit for that mid. I was thinking Nithon might have tried to go around that smoke, but instead he'll just play it safe. Keep the Op on the rotation for now. Bit of a gunfight happening in mid, and coldzera now getting himself a little bit bloodthirsty, maybe. Just getting some info, staying active, and I actually like this. I like that the CTs are still kind of moving around, still trying to figure out things for the time being. This is a good note.
Yeah, but the Corinthians also making moves of their own, scaling through the catwalk in the 4v4. They don't have apps present, so this catwalk play isn't the most potent, but it does allow for them to have a little bit of damage into
He's
the
got
round.
info.
Unfortunately, Venom Zera spotted all of this out, gives a free route for Knight on to swing out, find one of his own, and David actually burns all the way out. So now Nithon's actually hot under the collar, hits the flick necessary, and now it's just that cap prong. 35 seconds left on the clock, and they really have nowhere else to go but the B-bomb site.
Yeah, Venoms does such amount of work on this. Like, I know he didn't really pick up more than one frag, but like you said, you caught that perfectly. It's the fact that he gets the info. Ooh, Nithon getting a bit too eager for that one. So it is a free site, technically, in coldzera now. Creeping his way through this. He might get the timing. He does. He finds that one. So now this is problems arising a little bit more. coldzera going to put himself in a double, and they have now secured 6 rounds guaranteed in this half. A buy should be able to come through potentially if they want. I mean, they have enough here for Galil's with that utility if they want to keep things moving, but it's kind of going the way we were thinking, right? Like this is a scary note when you're on the T side of Mirage and you just can't seem to pick up these duels.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't feel as though they had the right read there. coldzera a step ahead, finds a double, and another poor buy for the Corinthians. I said if they didn't step up in that round, this could be pretty much done and dusted, and I stand by that right now. David does his job, shuts down that little bit of a mid-presence that they had, and now players like Nithon can really do as he pleases. Bounding through every which way. Takes a kill onto Desh as well. Potentially ABR teed up. Misses the shot though.
Look at the control. Like even Davideus is just sitting on top of mid. He's got a full inkling of this. Yeah, it should be. Oh, wow. You got to hit that. Okay, hang on. Yeah, don't be flexing the gun. You don't need to be insecting it. You need to be hitting shots right now, Davideus. And okay, at least the nade's going to do something a little bit, but that bomb's creeping its way through mid now, maybe. But
really?
Oh, this is just what is going on? Maybe are not long for this world, surely. Yeah. Okay, there we go. 7-2 and Paladin. You can walk me through this round because I got nothing.
It's just Red Canids winning, and that's the long short of it. I mean, it's just domination on every end of the map. You have Nithon being able to freely look down the A main without any pressure from Palace. You have David fighting top of mid with no pressure from Connector. Of course, it's lesser weaponry, but this kind of a pressure builds over time, and it makes these buy rounds that much more difficult to try and overcome. They're going to try their hand again at mid control as Leo goes bounding through the top mid smoke, trying to split onto this B bomb to at least grab ladder control at a minute 35. Luckily for them, Cuts will find coldzera, and now Leo's fast into this B side. Leggy finds one, and it's all onto Davideus here on B.
Yeah, somebody that needs to come up big, and he is able to find that first full space of lead coming in. Leggy just playing on the bench. Getting himself up here, and even now the reposition coming in from the CT side.
They didn't have the bomb.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad you said that because I was looking at the radar and I'm like, why is the bomb in T-spawn? But okay, but at least like ABR has been able to do some detective work and has cleared things out and said, look, you got a free site, you can get the plant in. I got to do something big here. I got to be able to find somebody. And Leggy's kind of just still creeping through, hoping to get something. But look at the position for Red Canids. They're all kind of grouped up together on the outskirts of B and also ladder, but this timing could be everything. ABR's already made it across.
Yeah, it's really all on Nithon to either find Leggy or find that jungle rotation as well. It is legitimately just a matter of mere moments here. 30 seconds left on the clock, and now the bomb site has been breached. Nithon makes a noise cue. There it is. Leggy should be able to find the jump on him, but Nithon with the no-scope. Now this is the kill that decides everything. Can they dislodge ABR in any form or fashion? Being watched from every which way, ABR does his job and then some. Double for him, thrusts Nithon into the 1v1. Cuts now dancing between the triple boxes. Smoke out for Nithon, but can't pull out his gun in time. Cuts shuts it down. And it's great police work from this guy to circumnavigate all of that B pressure, gather the bomb on T-spawn, and clear out the A side as well.
Yeah, such a big round. I mean, again, just seeing some of these individuals like doing the detective work, and then just the fact that like ABR just put himself in that position, finding the two duels in his favor. That's one of the worst things on the CT side when you kind of go through that like little cubby hole. Like, there's nothing worse, right? Because you were so vulnerable, and the chances of hitting something through that are so minimal, right? Like, I mean, you're pretty much useless. You got nothing to do in there. But ABR capitalizes, does well with it. We'll see now. A little bit of mid-aggression coming in. Coldzera actually might pop open the smoke. I think he spotted this player, but doesn't even matter because Leo's just going to do one a little bit more. Smokes now. Double coming in from Connector. That bomb still has not left T-spawn yet, Paladin. I don't think Corinthians have figured that out yet. Now they finally got themselves moving a little bit, but they got the man advantage at least.
They have found the answer, though. Leo is slowly starting to gain some steam. Multiple entries in that middle position means Red Canids have to respect this T side and their offense. Oh, jump spot. Nearly capitalized upon by Desh, but shots go awry. Instead, he takes actually a boatload of damage the other way. Hardzao wins the exchange as Leo wants to continue his aggression down into Connector. Oh, they're just kissing. They're right next to each other, and Leo Monster finds the kill. Trade is there. 40 seconds left on the clock. The bomb has been dropped at the top of middle, and they're kind of all over the place at this point, Laz. They've got to make a decision as to where they want to end up, and they've got to regroup quickly.
Yeah, they got to do something fast here, but time is running out, right? I mean, this is where it gets really scary. When you run the clock this slow, you have to be prepared for any variables. Nithon, you're getting roasted. What is going on? You're losing all your HP. Now Venom just waiting on the back here.
No.
Oh no, this could be everything. Oh man, that could deny it, but 14 seconds. They still got a little bit to work with. He has to swing. He might be able to get it. And yes, he will. He did stop it, but now it's a question, can they be able to do this? There's 5 seconds remaining. The plant should be able to come through just in time. It's a 1-on-2.
No!
And I kept, no, he didn't get it. Oh, no way. He just missed it. Oh, dude, my goodness.
I think that had to be like a 1/10 of a second.
It must have been.
Like that. On our screens, it was 4 seconds, and I'm like 90% sure that there might have been just a hitch of a delay because the Corinthians, they should have won that round, Laz. They should have won it every day of the week.
I just can't believe it. That's, yeah, like you said, a 1/10 of a second, honestly, because I thought he had it. I thought he had the plant through, and I'm like, okay, he just got it. But man, that's the thing. That's what I just talked about, right? You and I always go on these tangents, probably more me, just because I hate seeing it. But like, that's why he can't run the clock low. But again, Red Canids were able to stop the plant twice. And now, Cuts has made himself into Connector, able to get another opening duel for himself. And okay, Corinthians are a little bit mad. They're a little bit angry. And they're trying to get themselves a 4th round and redeem themselves from that last previous. Okay.
Beautiful little no-scope there, but it should be all consolation frags here at the last round of the half. Corinthians have put together a sublime A-split here. And the Red Canids, try as they might, should be able to give over a 4th. Trades available for Nithon, can't convert, and that should be all she wrote here in this first half. Corinthians find a way to scrounge up 4 rounds. We'll see if they can bounce back at the end of our little break.
All right, welcome back here for the second best of one, and it is going to be the second half with an 8-4. Red Canids now have been able to show us a dominating CT side, but the question is if they can get it done here on the T side. Myself, Laz, and Paladin to walk you through it.
Real task for Corinthians to make yet another crazy comeback. An even bigger lead than the half previous on Nuke. And to make matters worse, it's a B rush, Laz. These are always the peskiest to deal with. It's not even actually forget it's not a B rush, it's a B split. And only Leggy here on the B bomb side itself with these dual Berettas. He's got to get at least 2, but only the one to be found. It's a retake of this B bomb site with no kit and that singular flashbang on ABR.
Yeah, that's a big play from Red Canids because, again, they baited it out, like splitting things up with one player going left, one player going right, and they're able to get themselves that duel, and now the bomb plant too. Now this is going to be worse for wear for Corinthians because, again, they don't have that kit. They have to be able to find these duels. They got to get moving a little bit here. USPs are making some decent connections. It's a 2-2. It's cold here on the bench. He's able to get something, but Davideus with a drive-by one-shot. All right, man, that's a way to get yourself another pistol round, and a 9-4 is going to be the score.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always going to be a tough ask to burst onto that B bomb site as a retaking couple of CTs. You've got to clear out some ugly angles, and now this whole comeback angle that I'm trying to spark up is so difficult to talk about, considering you've got this meager force buy that's potentially giving away over 11 rounds. And oh my god, Venom Zera, dry swing out mid, just bops Desh right in the head, sends us right into the 5v4.
Man, that's such a BM move, just dry swing mid like that. You're
Yeah.
Your confidence has got to be off the charts. You're just you know what? I'm better. I'm going to do it. But that's making a statement. And this is where they're so confident, and now they're just winning these duels. Again, they're only going against the pistol, sure, but this is just becoming a bit of a dominating round. It doesn't look like this might be anybody dropping from in cannons, and I think Cuts now just kind of looking to see what he can find. Okay, we'll get one on cold, but it's not much to brag about. Red Cannons sitting themselves at 10, and they're even going for the hunt right now. They're actually just fully looking for him.
Yeah, and I don't mind that at all. You want to take everything away, and I mean, you say it's just against pistols, but I mean, these kills are important. These kills find a little bit of confidence of Red Canids' T side, and it continues to bleed away at the Corinthians. This means 11 is all but secured at this point for the T side, and Corinthians will have an absolutely Herculean task to come back into this best of one.
Well, it's a huge lead, but again, we saw this before in Nuke, right? There was a similar scoreline where Red Canids already had themselves at double digits, and then Corinthians were able to get themselves back in it. Maybe not this round, just given that, again, it's just some USPs, pistols. Now they're just going to swing in mid, just hope for the best. And it's looking like these Glios are making some pretty decent connections. They're just taking one by one here. So should be Red Canids be able to find themselves 11th. Yeah, it's already looking like a speed run. But I think this next round for round number 16 is going to be important, right? Because this is where the full money is going to come in. Corinthians, this is kind of their one attempt, in my opinion, that they have to get the momentum shifted. Otherwise, this thing might be over pretty quick.
You're going to be out for Desh, so he will be able to flex that gun, but has not had that kind of impact that we were looking for on the big green. Meanwhile, it's got to be those big riflers to step up. ABR, Leo, Cuts, they've been putting in some hard work in keeping this at least remotely competitive. But it's got to be a huge comeback here. It all starts now. Nade up into the underpass to go straight at Cuts, but the trade is good for the T side. They'll happily take the 4v4 at a minute 35.
Oh, that nade does so much too. I was thinking Leo was a dead man. The nade hit him. He couldn't move. He just looked like he was stuck in the mud. And he gets away with it. I don't even know. But you know what? Corinthian fans, you'll take it. I mean, you got to take every duel you can. But all right, things are getting a little bit weird. Things are getting a little bit scrappy. But There's a big flank coming in from ABR. This is so much intel. He might be able to find himself that double. They have no idea he's going to be here. Oh, this could be everything. He's just going to be able to find this. I mean, even this actually just goes right for the duel right away. He doesn't even mess around. He doesn't want to wait things out. Now you can see Red Canids are kind of going, okay, look, we got to win these fights now. We got to do something big. That's not bad here from Davideus. But can they find more? And even Davideus is low. He's got 14 HP to work with.
Yeah, a lot of pressure now on Coldzera's shoulders. It's a Palace player and a jungle setup from Desh. This crossfire is very deadly, and it will only spring to action once the bomb is tapped. But I don't even think we're going to get to that stage at this point, as the bomb has been dropped at connector. Coldzera tries to chase Desh, and he gets shut down. Well done to the Corinthians and bouncing back there. And I mean, it's just very dynamic. You know, they believe in their players to make active plays, and the Red Canids do not have a response to that kind of an active setup there from the CTs.
Yeah, and this is the same thing that we saw in Nuke, right? We saw players getting really aggressive on the CT side from Corinthians. They started, making plays. They were trying to, change the pace a lot and just get some control back. And we're kind of going down that a little bit. I mean, still super early to tell, obviously, but I like it. I love that they're still not giving up. They're still got their feet down in this game. And they've taken mid control. They push back a little bit against Red Canids. They're posted up here behind the smoke, and the flashes are not making it easier. Oh, Coldzera, he's made it across mid box, but does he expect Cuts to be this close? Oh, it's going to be a swing, and that's going to be a double. Oh, even with a TK, no! Oh, Knifeon takes his own teammate away, and these CTs, they're starting to drop like flies, and even the T's as well, and it's just back and forth. Hard's out by himself. What on earth is going on? He doesn't even have a bomb.
Oh, there's a near lineup there for Cold as well. Kind of insane to go for a double swing like that, but it works out. Hard's out now in a tough 1v3. Flick up for Desh is good. And Corinthians continue to bounce back. More aggression in mid. Not letting Red Canids settle in this default situation. And because of that, I mean, the Corinthians are slowly starting to gain steam. Cuts is making a name for himself now. The lead is cut down to 5 rounds, and it should be 4 in just a moment's time. Oh.
Uh-oh. That's not good. I would imagine we're going to have the medic be utilized quickly. I think so. Yeah, it looks like they're kind of jumping around. So, all right. Well, a little bit of a tech issue. Leggy, some reason just kind of got disconnected, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. We'll get things fixed. But I think it's a good, moment again where the Corinthians have really shown a lot of resilience in these 2 best of 1s. I mean, still an opportunity to win this game, sure. But again, it's a very, very long road, and that's what we talked about before. But I'm liking the aggression in mid. I'm liking the change up where they, push through a ramp and get some control. They're starting to put a lot of guessing here for Red Canids, and I think that was the one piece you were talking about a little bit is that, the IGLing is being kind of tossed around from Corinthians, but also I think it's kind of the same thing here for Red Canids.
Yeah. But we will be just trying to refresh the HUD, all that good stuff, just to make sure that all the players are back in the server. Yeah, sorry for the little bit of a tech delay. It happens. But, we still won't figure out the victor of this game just yet. It does feel like Corinthians, they're always slow to start, Laz, but, I mean, eventually they find a way back into the game. I mean, I'd argue sometimes it's a little too late, but, hey-ho, at this point, if they can make the comeback and potentially snag away a best of 1, it would mean so much to them at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of like they almost seem like they're a team that does better when their backs are on the boards, right? Like when they're in a huge deficit, then they start to make this pretty big comeback and make things really close. Because let's not forget, like Nuke was a 13-11, and I think the scoreline at one point was like 11-5 or 11-6 or something like that. So that was in favor for Red Canids. So there was a long comeback that was already being commenced, but it fell a little bit short. And this is where Red Canids, again, a relatively newish roster. They're still kind of getting their feet, in better footing, but they're getting tested here. And this is a good thing to go against because some teams, especially in the higher leagues and different divisions, they're known for this too. And that's where you just take it round by round. And I think we're in that kind of a situation right now with this game too.
Yeah, you can tell that, the defaulting isn't optimal right now. You can still tell that there are certain players that don't necessarily feel comfortable in their roles just yet. There aren't too many set plays that they're calling out of spawn. They're pretty much defaulting every round. And on the CT side as well, they don't have too many dynamic setups either, right? It's like they have pretty much a stock standard. Venom's there at the back of A. You know, you've got a player in Hards out anchoring down the B bomb site, and then you've got your floaters that are kind of just doing whatever. There's nothing really too complex in terms of the reads necessary by the Corinthians, and they're kind of, I mean, they did their job on that defense to potentially hold it back, or on the offense to hold it back. So, I think as a whole, right now, there's still a lot of work to be done for the Red Canids. They're getting by through a lot of these situations purely through aim and big multi kills from players like Venom Zera and Hardzao. But at the if they want to actually beat some of these bigger teams, they're gonna have to iron out those fundamentals a little bit more. They're gonna have to deepen their playbook a little bit more, and only then can you start to have that conversation that, you know, maybe they could take down a Pain or an Imperial or Sharks or something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what makes them so interesting, because we said, you know, individually they're a great team, but I think it's now building the structure, building the system, and making them that top contender. And I mean, you have to play everybody in the division, right? You have to play everybody at all levels to see what you can do. And that's what we talked about in the pre-show, is the fact of, you know, Corinthians are technically that team where, yeah, their record, you know, it's not the greatest. I mean, right now they're sitting at a 3-9 record in the whole league, is whereas comparison to 11-3 coming in from Red Canids. But at the same time, this is becoming a very close game. I mean, we're talking about 11-7. The last one before was a very close one as well. So that's where things, or 11-6, sorry. That's where it gets really interesting. But we'll have to see what they can do. And we've seen really good glimpses of beauty from both these teams. And that's what's been pretty exciting about this one.
Well, the match medic has gone through, and we should be live momentarily, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go.
You are not.
It is pretty much a deco here for Red Canids, and the Corinthians have an opportunity to cut this lead down to just 4 rounds.
All right, Pistola's now going to be here for Red Canids. A couple Deegs, a lock or two. No utility. This is all about firepower, baby. Davideus just making some noise. Thunderfooting his way in B apartments. Doesn't really get too much. Just a molly burned here from the CT. Even an HE. Okay, well, that's not too bad. And a smoke. All right, never mind. He's done his job. He's done pretty good. He's burning some UCell. He's burning some cash. And now ABR gets aggressive. Does find this duel. This question of Hardzao, can he find the timing? He will not. This should be a scrap. This should be pretty quick, unless these Deagles can do something big. There's still 2 of them on the field. They have no control at all, Powden. Like, you can see the positioning of them right now. Like, they have nothing to work with right now.
I mean, at this point, headshots like that will be the only way you get back into the round. Big one from David. And unfortunately, he can't recover that gun. But he does find another one onto Leo. So 45 seconds left on the clock. And a rifle now scooped up. Desh is going to be hot under the collar on this A site. Drops it over to Cold. Unfortunately for these players, none of them have armor. So it's going to have to be these like boosts, these gimmicky plays to get them involved. Desh has tucked himself all the way in though. And there's no way for them to find the kill. They're scaling together slowly but surely. But it's inevitability that Desh will hit this shot. And now it should just be a formality. 15 seconds left. ABR does his work. And actually, Hardzao makes a crossover. So bomb plan is confirmed. 3 kills are found. And Hardzao maybe even has a little bit of an opportunity to clutch no. But hey, for a round to be lost, that's probably one of the best case scenarios you can have if you're the Red Canids.
Yeah, and honestly, the one thing I really like about that too is, again, like, you know, Desh was kind of just playing very aggressive on triple, made his presence known, again, distracting Hardzao, and then also just having his teammate ready to go, right? It's kind of a little bit of like a bait and switch. doesn't swing, doesn't get aggressive. He just waits things out, lets his teammate to do some dirty work in the back there, and it's done, right? So it's a good amount of communication that's coming in. Now they get themselves a 7th round from a kind of a scary moment of that Deeg able to find some multi-kills like that. I was thinking it wasn't really going to be much, but either way, now we're going to have those AKs back on the board. I'm going to go back for a 1-1-3. Just leaving it for Coldzera to kind of be the anchor of mid, just kind of wing things out, probably cross into connector when he can. But it's about these T's making the shots, and Leggy's playing a very exposed angle right now. Spots the foot of Hardzao, and he's able to do that again. He's been gifted that twice in a row now, and Cuts and Cold, they're right beside each other. It's a matter of who can see who, and it's going to be Cold, so at least we're back to the 4-4.
Minute 20 now as the round slows down just a little bit more. Venomzera trying to advance, crunch in with Coldzera on the top of Khan. But they'll just get this control. To standstill everywhere, but ABR and Leggy, they want to go aggressive in the A main. It's a lineup for Nighton, but he'll only find one. Cold finds another kill in the Khan side of things. He goes down off of Cat, and now it should be this A play where everything ends up. It's all up to Leggy. Nice little off angle, but Venomzera susses it out almost instantaneously. Bomb should be recovered, and it should go down. Dash now. 1v2 needed. Does he read this? Yes, he does. Now, Davideus' position must be known at this point. And Desh does have a kit, so he can take his time with this. But that flash, does it suggest that he's moved? No. And David hits the head, gets the map point, locked and loaded for the red Canids, and Corinthians are set reeling.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that too is, I mean, for David, like, he throws the flash, and I mean, you could see that Desh was kind of like, you would think in that play, the flash comes in, you're fully blind, like maybe they crossed underneath, under balcony. Probably not though, but again, that was a really good play from David. Really risky because again, when you're kind of anchoring that site, you need that information, but he goes for a big swing, a Ferrari swing, and he does land the shot, which is now putting them on the series map point on this one for this best of one game. And that was a critical. That's what they needed. It's starting to get a bit scrappy. ABR is going to get the Paul flash here into A ramp. The trades are coming back through. MP9s seem to be the weapon of choice here for the CT side, despite them losing that round. And this is one of those tough situations, Paladin, that you have to work with. ABR needing to come up massive in this one. Flash comes in. It's actually going to blind him, and that's even worse. He could have got the timing, and he maybe will get two. He's going to get 1.25, but that's something at least.
They keep getting burned out here, and now Leggy, he has to make a move. So does Leo Monster. It's all down to Desh once more, and this is an even tougher ask from the round previous. Laz, I think we have our victors locked and loaded here on the A stream. It was a valiant attempt from the Corinthians. First to try and pull it back on Nuke, and then had an even tougher time to pull it back on their theoretical pick here on Mirage. But unfortunately for them, they will be eradicated. I think Open is in their sights, but for the Red Canids, they're moving up and up in the rankings. They have an opportunity to potentially get that upper bracket slot.
Yeah, that was a really good game. I mean, that was a very different, bit of a tale that we saw in Mirage. I mean, there was a bit of that comeback that was coming through for Corinthians, but